Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I am Mona and in today's video I'll show you my favorite base products and how I use those base products to create this base. Just the base, not the eye makeup and the lip makeup. In fact, I have filmed how I did this eye makeup and lip makeup for my main channel, the Tamil channel. You can definitely check that out. So without any further delay, let's get into today's video. Looks like I've been using this primer over and over again for all my tutorials and for my daily makeup purpose. It's the Lakme Absolute's Blur Perfect Primer, Makeup Primer. It's the mousse consistency one. They do also have a gel one. I am really liking it. I have loved it earlier and this has been my all-time favorite, I would like to say, at this point. So I'm just applying this on the center of my face and whatever is left goes on the other parts of my face. Now to make this last even more, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give a slight layer of powder before my cream product application. Now this step is optional. If you have super dry skin, kindly avoid this because this might turn your makeup to look cakey and super flaky. If you have oily skin, then do not think twice. Go ahead and do this. Okay, now I have a loose powder. This one is the K Beauty's Olive Loose Powder. You know me, I love this powder. I take this powder on a fluffy loose powder brush and I'm gently, very gently dusting this all across my face, especially on the areas where my foundation might move quickly or might disappear, I would say, because the T-zone is the area where it gets super oily quick and the makeup also disappears when I try to blot or remove the oil. So I just slightly, very slightly set my face with this powder. I just want a nice matte base. Another trick is to use a high heavy duty concealer. I'm using the Too Faced Born This Way concealer. Okay, not the shade, I'll use Chestnut. Okay, this concealer has been my constant lifesaver when it comes to doing a long lasting makeup base. I love this concealer on my skin. It works great for my oily skin and it also has good range of shades. So if you're looking for something that is on the higher end side or that would perform well for the Indian climate, then you can definitely go ahead and try the Too Faced Born This Way multi-use sculpting concealer. And I am in shade Chestnut. I use the shade wherever I need to just conceal, not to highlight. I also forgot to add orange concealer. If this happens, then what I do is I kind of mix both these concealers, like the Too Faced concealer and the orange concealer goes together, and then I'll just mix it up while I blend it. Okay, for orange, I'll be using the Take Cover concealer by PAC, another one of my favorites. This is in the shade Rusty Orange. Just a little bit. And if I need to mix my concealers on my face directly, then I go ahead and use a concealer brush like this. This one is the PAC's 218 concealer brush. I gently swirl the products together and blend it in my skin. Look how beautiful this concealer sits on my skin. I really love this concealer, guys. I really want you guys to try this out. Okay, the foundation that I'm going to show you is another one of my budget-friendly favorite foundation. It's the Lakme's 9 to 5 Primer Plus Matte Foundation. One reason why I like this very much is because this is a primer plus matte foundation, and the another reason is that it settles super matte on my skin and I love matte finish bases, and then it also lasts super long. And the main reason I would say that I should have pointed at the first place is the shade. This is definitely one of my closest matches when it comes to the collection of foundations that I have. Basically, that's one main reason why I always go to this particular foundation. As you can see, I'll just quickly blend and show you how well this foundation matches my skin tone. I'm using this beauty sponge. This one is from Plume. I mean, look at that. I love this foundation shade, the undertone, the performance, everything. And especially for my skin tone and for my skin type, this works like magic, like pizza, I would say, because I love pizza. I'm not making any sense, but I don't know, I'm so excited. Okay, I'm majorly concentrating this foundation wherever my skin is a bit naked, wherever it doesn't have any concealer layer. In that way, I won't be overloading my face with lots of product. I also make sure that the edges are well blended, but I don't usually like to take the foundation to my neck. it has some prominent lines and the foundation actually goes and settles onto it, and it is also a bit discolored. So if I want to correct it, then I have to color correct, then I have to conceal it, then I have to add a foundation. So there is going to be lots of layering happening, and I'm going to feel super uncomfortable if I do it. So I just prefer not to apply any product on my neck, but I make sure that the edges are well blended. Okay, the layering is too thin, but I really love the finish. Next concealer that I'm going to show is another one of my favorite base products. It's the L'Oreal Paris Infallible Full Wear Concealer. Now the shade that I'm using here is 317 Almond, which is super light for my skin, but this somehow works for me and I really love the result. It's super long lasting, guys. It withstands extreme heat and sweat. Now I sweat a lot. This particular concealer just saves my base from disappearing, trust me. So I take the tiniest amount and then I quickly start blending this. There are super high chances of this looking not very well blended or super patchy or something, because the shade that we are using here is super light. Today I don't feel like it, but I still want to show you guys what I basically do. I take the same concealer, the Chestnut Born This Way concealer, and I kind of keep random dots on the edges where the light shade concealer meets the foundation. And I also quickly blend everything. This makes sure that the lighter shade concealer is well blended with the foundation. So what do you guys think? Now this base still needs some major work. Before that, I'm going to set my face with some loose powder. I'm again going to be using the K Beauty's loose powder in shade Olive. I'm evenly saturating the sponge with the layer of powder, and then I'm quickly dabbing this underneath my eyes and setting the powder. So I'm not baking. Currently I have been enjoying this setting method and this is working well for me. I also apply this loose powder wherever I have applied the concealer. And for the rest of my face, I generally prefer using a compact powder, but today I would be directly using some bronzer. Now there has been a little, no, who am I kidding? I thought I'll tie my bronzer favorite, but no. I'm going to be using my OG favorite Hoola Caramel Bronzer. Ever since I got my hands on this, I cannot keep my hands out of this. I have been loving this and I cannot find a good dupe or a very similar bronzer that would actually satisfy me as how this Hoola one satisfies me. You know what I mean? I really love this bronzer, guys. It's a very good, nice, warm toned bronzer, matte bronzer, and it actually matches my skin tone very well. So I also like to set my face with this bronzer sometimes. Like, see, I'm slightly dusting the bronzer all across my face, especially around my mouth, because this has orange tint in it and it's going to camouflage any sort of grayness that might happen. And I'm not a big fan of sharp contour for my nose, so I just slightly darken the sides of my nose. That's it. And for my forehead, I love to add that nice gradient of color for my forehead because I have 5 head and I like to minimize the look of it, and I like to add some shadow and depth to it. Not too much, just a bit. Blush and highlighter wise, I have been recently loving the Kieros blush and highlighter duos. They are my absolute favorite. I use any of their blushes. They have like 3 variants and each has 2 colors. I prefer every palette. I prefer every variant because all the colors are suitable to Indian skin tone and they really work well on my skin tone as well. They are super pigmented. So today for blush, I'll be using the Pink Perfect Plus Fresh Grapefruit variant, and for highlighter, I'll be using the Sandy Rose and Pearly Prawns. Hi, as you guys can see, my eyes and lips and mascara and eyebrows are done. You can definitely check out my other channel to know how I created the look and what products I basically used. But I would like to show you one last step with one of my favorite products, which is the Prep Plus Prime Fix Plus Face Setting Mist. I'm just going to quickly spritz this and then I'm going to get ready. By that time, the setting mist is going to set well on my skin, and if needed, at the end, I will top a little bit of the compact powder or any loose powder to set my face. So this is the final look, and genuinely I was not in need of reapplying any sort of like powder on the top of the setting mist, the thing that I mentioned at the end, that I would be applying some compact or loose powder at the end, because my skin is pretty matte and I'm really loving the result. As you can see, it's very nice. It is giving me the skin like finish. It's very comfortable. I can touch my face. I would never scratch or anything, but I can easily touch because it's very very lightweight and it's non-transferable as well. So this is going to be a wearable base with all my favorite products. So if you like the video, please give this video a thumbs up, and I will see you all in my next one, guys. Bye.